Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Hey, it's Brock here with Uncommon Aquatics.
And this is the 7,000 gallon koi pond that I built last fall with my son. And this has been one of my favorite projects that I've ever done. And it really turned out great, but I did have some hiccups along the way. So I decided that what I wanted to do is make one video that shows everything that happened from starting to dig the hole through the finished pond like you see it now.
This was a DIY project, but we did buy a kit that came with everything we needed except for the rocks.
So what we've got here is our Waterfall outlet, and that's the skimmer. So that'll suck in dirty water, filter it, pump it up here, and it comes out here for the Waterfall.
So the first step was to flatten a pad to work on. After that, we drew an outline of exactly the shape we wanted on the pond. The next step is setting the filter basket in place because it determines the location of the waterfall and you kind of base everything else off of it. With the filter basket set, the next step is to actually dig the footprint where you want the pond. And most people do a lower level that is deeper and a higher shelf. The lower level gives the fish protection during cold weather and allows you to have larger fish. Having the higher section allows you better visibility because sometimes the deep parts can get murky.
Day one, got the entire pond dug. We're a full 4 foot deep in this area right here, and we're 2 foot deep in the entire area. But kind of what we're looking at is we want these edges, these walls of the pond to be more straight up and down, because right now it's all kind of sloping in. Next things we have to do are set the skimmer box right there. We have to dig out for that, connect the hose to it, and then run that hose up here. Then we have to bury that and start flattening out all of the areas around the pond with this extra dirt.
So digging this big hole, you've obviously got quite a bit of dirt left over. But we ended up using all of it because we set the filter box 2 feet in the ground with 2 feet sticking up out of the ground. That gave us 2 foot of drop for the waterfall, but it doesn't make it stand up so tall that it looks out of place. So we used all the dirt that came out of the hole to kind of gently grade a slope around the outside edges of the pond. On day 2, we got all this grading done around the outside. We got the liner put in place, which you're about to see, and we got quite a bit of the rock walls done. First, we're putting down an underlayment that is essentially protection for the liner to keep rocks from poking up into that liner. Because it doesn't have to be watertight, the underlayment can be split in multiple pieces like we did here. But the liner obviously has to be a single piece that covers the entire pond.
So we're about 73% of the way around the pond, and the spot we're at right now is where the waterfall is going to come in. And instead of a 2-foot tall dirt wall there, it's almost 3 foot tall. So I need to dig out right where those orange stripes are so that I've got enough room for the waterfall to actually cascade down. Yeah, I think this one might set right up there. This stuff is mainly the same as your Great Stuff expanding foam, except it's formulated for waterfalls and it's black or gray. So what we have right here is the skimmer box that sucks in water from the pond and returns it to the filter. And the height of this box basically determines water level for the entire pond. At this point, we've pulled the liners where it's straight across here. So now we need to cut out the basic shape here.
One step that isn't shown here is the fact that we were filling this and pumping water out of it at the same time to kind of clean off the stone dust.
Moment of truth.
Moment of truth. Oh, yeah! Woo!
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
These two are my favorite of the koi. They're good size compared to my hand. One is a black and white, the other is orange and white. From the time we got the pond rocked in, I've only really been dreading one part of the finish, and that is what to do with the edge of the liner. So what's happening right now is when it rains, water's running down here and pushing dirt into the pond. And I've seen a couple different ways to deal with this. So what I think I'm gonna do is cut this excess off pretty short, like that, and then fold it over and put more rocks on top of it after it's folded.
After running the pond for quite a while, I decided it was losing more water than could be explained by evaporation. Turns out it had a leak that only happened when the pump was running. And it was because I didn't properly seal up between the waterfall liner and the filter basket. So I had to dig this back up, verify that's where the water was coming from, and then reseal it. I did that by removing the waterfall tray and reattaching the liner to the filter basket, and then I backfilled in behind it with more foam and some rocks. And that was about 6 weeks ago, I think, and it seems to be holding up.
So that catches us up to today. Now we did have grass growing all the way around the pond, but I had to dig it up to fix the leak that we had. So now we don't have grass all the way around the pond. And normally you can see all the way to the bottom, and we still have a bunch of koi and goldfish in there. I can see them here, but I bet you can't see them on camera. They went to the bottom because I was running the weed eater, and you can see I got the grass clippings in there. Plus, I cleaned out the filter today, which made the water a little dirty, so it wasn't a good day to record this wrap up. But I've just recently redone all this. We dug it up to look for the leak, and then I've smoothed it back out and buried the line. I'm gonna build some kind of a little structure or some kind of a little house to house the electrical for this so that you can't see it when you walk up and it looks more natural. But overall, I'm proud of what we built here. And we're not professionals. I'm sure a lot of people could have done a better job, but I think it's pretty cool. Well, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.